peace, and thank you for joining the Alchemy Priestess podcast. I wanted to do this video today in regards to procrastination. For myself, as I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself. Procrastination is one of the worst addictions in life. Oftentimes we feel that addictions just come in a form of drugs, alcohol, sex, but also procrastination can be an addiction as well. Oftentimes procrastination can come from just kind of like a comfort zone. And so it's important to recognize yourself when you are coming into a space of procrastination. And I think that there's a difference between the ease of life and knowing when your body is saying you need to pause and take a breather, and then procrastination as if like nothing in your life is getting done. You're staying in bed, you have no inspiration to uplift yourself, uplift others. And so for me, I feel like that's the difference, and that's how you can pretty much know when you are procrastinating or when you're really just taking a pause and a breather for yourself. I have been guilty of this. My closest friends will know this about me. I will literally start 10 projects because I have so much creativity in my mind, but then I get imposter syndrome where I just don't, come to a space of realizing that I have the power to do this. And then oftentimes, not to say that those 10 things aren't growing, but they're growing in very, very microcosmic energy, very minute. And when I feel like there's always this thing of concentrated thoughts, right? When you're focusing on something specifically and you keep giving it attention, keep breathing the breath of life into it, then that's when it begins to move faster, because now it's like you literally becoming the alchemist of your life, and you're focusing and directing yourself in that, and you keep that as your main focus. So then it's like this matching energy begins to come and flow into your life. So oftentimes for myself, I definitely know when I'm procrastinating because I have all the tools that I need to get me where I need to go. I have all of the knowledge of where I need to go. I am the tool of where I need to go. All I need is myself. But oftentimes I would just prefer to lay in bed. I would just prefer to be out and doing other things, knowing damn well that I am in a space of wanting to move myself in a different path and being able to move myself in a different direction. But because I'm in the state of procrastination and not wanting to do it, I just let the shit go. And I can't really blame anybody else about where I'm going, because I am the one that's making the choice according to where I want to lay my footprints next. So I also get caught up sometimes, and I think we can also get caught up sometimes in the space of when is the next season for myself. Not overindulging, not overexerting, not, being hard on yourself, thinking that you're supposed to be somewhere else. Right now, in the present moment, is exactly where you're supposed to be. Even through your procrastination, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, because that is what you are choosing for yourself. There is nothing off your path. Everything that is according to where it needs to be in this moment is pure divine alignment, according to how much you think you're worth, according to your mental state of being, according to what you keep putting out there, first internally and then projecting it externally into the ethers. All of this, it's all on point. It all has its purpose, and there is nothing in your life that is off. The beautiful thing about this life that we've been given is the fact that we have the power and have been given free will to rise again with the sun like a new day and begin to make different choices and to be more aware of ourselves and to guide ourselves into different spaces and to become, I don't want to say a better version, because then that's just thinking that everything up to this point had no purpose, which it did, but just always seeing where you can kind of, sever certain aspects of yourself and change your mindset. So then that way you can start aligning yourself to the future self that you visualize to be. And yeah, so procrastination can also be an addiction. I think oftentimes we need to really always remember that we are infinite beings with limitless possibilities. And the only thing that's ever going to keep us from tapping into that energy is our own state of mind. Everything is mind, everything is mental, everything is a reflection of how we are, what we are, who we are, and we choose all of these things according to what we want to pay attention to throughout our day. Some of it is program, some of it is things that have been learned, some of it is where you are currently vibrationally. And I think it's important to realize that all that truly matters is this present moment, how you're feeling, what you're emitting, the frequency that you're on, your perception of life, your perspective, how you speak to yourself. Everything is in the now moment. So even though you did procrastinate yesterday, even if you did procrastinate earlier today, you still have the power in this moment to always choose a different response, a different reaction, a different version. And there's just beauty in that. Like, that's just an infinite way of being, knowing that we have all of this choice in this life to want to see ourselves brand new again, and it's just beautiful. And I think oftentimes we really take this for granted. I know, those that are probably following my channel are on their journeys of, self realization, kind of really getting into a space of solitude and being in a space of recognizing all that you are. Because I know for me, once I started getting into van life, there was a lot of me time, because I went from Atlanta, Georgia, where I was just out partying, cigar lounges. I had a group of friends, always going out every week, to this pure solitude with all I have is what's in here. There is nothing else that I have of my life, materialistic, that I have. Everything is in here. I don't no longer have my cars, no longer have my apartments. All of that shit is just gone. And most of the shit I just either threw in the trash, I ended up giving it away, and just kept what I needed. But as I've been living van life, I've just had so much solitude. And, it's true that there is a difference between being alone and loneliness. There's a huge difference. Me being alone means that I'm in my space, I'm alone, I'm to myself, I'm enjoying my company, I love my company. Loneliness is when you sit back and you're constantly in worry or worrisome that you don't have a partner. There's nobody around me. I'm depressed because nobody wants to talk to me. That's when it becomes this loneliness aspect. And not only that, you can recognize that according to how you feel. Abraham Hicks is big on that, right? Everything is always about how you feel. The universe doesn't give a shit about past, present, or future. It really doesn't. Everything is always about feeling. It's about emotions, which is why emotions are super important. I don't know why there's so many people out there that shut down emotions, especially geared towards men, but specifically we'll just keep emotions in a general sense. But emotions are so important because it's like an antenna. It's like it's speaking to you to let you know that there are things out of place. We're not supposed to be here is a feeling. I love this environment is a feeling. This place is exactly where I'm supposed to be is a feeling, and I just noticed that my sign is burning. Just push it back a little bit. And no, I'm not about to stop this. I'm just doing my videos nice and raw. Okay, let's keep it just like that. So, you begin to get into this space about yourself. You end up being able to feel more, a lot deeper. You get to be more aware of your surroundings. Everything that you used to keep in will begin to surface because now you're in pure solitude, and it's going to require you to always just be in the moment, the moment of realizing that this is me. I am the all, and how I feel is valid. How you're feeling right now is valid. Everything that you experience in your life is valid because we currently live in seasons. We're always living in seasons, reasons, seasons, lifetimes, and every day is never going to be the same. And I think oftentimes we judge ourselves too much into thinking that every single day there has to be perfection. And I always say that we are perfect within our imperfections. Even that is perfect, you know? And so, yeah, procrastination is an addiction, and it can be an addiction. It's been an addiction for me, but now I'm getting into a space where I've realized the difference of my procrastinating and then also realizing the season of being still, and I've gone through my season of being still. I've been going through my season of being still. And once you go through the season of being still, you can literally see yourself evolving into newness. Definitely it's a death and rebirth type of situation, and there's beauty in that. We die every single day, especially those of us that are living intentional with our lives, living intentional with where we go, living intentional with what we see, what we watch, what we listen to, choosing our partners. Because as you begin to be very intentional with your energy, there's a lot of the masking and a lot of the cloaking and the veil that begins to lift itself out voluntarily. I always say that this could be a really easy journey. And I honestly feel that it was meant to be an easy journey. Not to say that there's not going to be contrast. However, I feel like this journey is all about getting into a higher frequency of oneself. And then that same frequency that you were on where you met these people or these situations or these timelines of yourself, once you begin to shift and alchemize your energy into a higher frequency, everything that you created here out of a different frequency is going to eventually evaporate itself out of your life, is going to eliminate itself voluntarily out of your life. And that's the process. There is no need to force. There's no need to force anybody out of your life. There's no having to, tell and get in arguments with people about certain things. It's probably going to happen because our first response is usually always that programmed aspect of ourselves. But then if you can just learn how to be still and channel your inner voice and channel your inner power, then that's when you're able to obviously make better decisions and, flow a little bit more easier with life. And you begin to take accountability. And I feel that once you begin to take accountability for all of these things as a whole, then procrastination itself will have to eliminate itself out of your life because you're not on that frequency anymore. You see what I'm saying? So everything is in a space of you being accountable for your energy, living very intentional every day with your life, and then always recognizing that you are the alchemist. You are the creator of your cipher. It's all you. Everything around you is you. I'm in the center of all of this that is around me. This is all me. This is my energy. If I want to remove this out of my space, it is up to me to grab it and move it out of my space. If I no longer want this in my space, I'm going to grab it and move it out of my space. This life that we're living is a physical representation of how we need to live internally within ourselves. Everything in life, I feel like, is an example of how we're living internally, as within, so without, as above, so below. So yeah, that is my video for today. Procrastination can also be an addiction. And thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for listening. And I wish you guys well on your journey. If you would like to follow me on my social media, my TikTok is Carisse Trahan, which is my middle name, Carisse, and then Trahan, Trahan. Then the Alchemy Priestess is my YouTube page, which is where I'm spending most of my time. And then, of course, I have my Instagram, which is the Alchemy Priestess as well. So thank you for joining the Alchemy Priestess podcast. And I wish you guys the best. And always remember that you are an infinite being with limitless possibilities. Peace.